Good morning, students. Today we are starting a new chapter, that is nerve physiology. Okay, it is a very important system found in our body. Mainly, two systems are very important to our body. Which are they? Nervous system and endocrine system. As we know, the action of nervous system is very rapid because we know that whenever we touch a candle flame, all of a sudden we retract our hand. We are not taking enough. We are not taking even few seconds to retrieve our hand from the flame. That's that much fast it. So, nervous system is the fastest system in the body to control our activities, our functions, our bodily functions. Then when come to about endocrine system, it's also very important to our body, but its pace is very slow. Its action is very slow, response is very slow. Then when coming to the nervous system main functions of nervous system are three. Which are they? First, we can classify, we can categorize the function in three steps actually. Which are the steps? First, it collect information from the external environment. Whenever we want to take a response upon something from the external environment, that is the first step. We are collecting, taking information from the external environment. And coming to second step, in second step, the nervous system coordinates all the responses it collects from the external environment and process it and store. If we are telling all the things that happening as two terms, that is coordinates, process and store, but all these processes are happening a fraction of a second in the nervous system. So that's the second step. And thirdly, it initiate appropriate response or reaction according to the information collected from the environment. Correct? I think you understand that. So, two important system, nervous system and endocrine system. It function happens mainly through three steps. That's what I mean there. Three steps means first collect information, then coordinate, process and store. Second step. Third step is the correct response. Then we are going to see the neurons in deep. Two type of cells are present in nervous system. Which are they? Neurons and glial cells. Neurons, I think you all studied from your lower classes and everybody know its structure. But glial cell is, I think a few feel it is a new term. What is glial cells? In the picture, we can see the image of glial cell. These are the glial cell. What is this difference when compared with the neuron? What structure is lacking in glial cell? Yeah, that axonal portion, that extended axis is there for neuron. That axis is totally lacking in the case of glial cells. That's the main difference. So, glial cells are also the part of nervous system. And one more difference, the number. When coming to the number abundance of these two types of cells, glial cells outnumber the nerve cells. Its number, glial cells number is 10 to 50 times more than the neurons. Okay. Then we can go to the structure, detailed structure of neuron. I am only just rewinding. Everybody know the structure of neurons. And first we need to tell about soma or cell body. This is the cell body. This portion is the cell body of neuron and it is almost similar to a common cell and it contains almost all cell organelles like nucleolus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, mitochondrial, lysosomes, everything. And this is the soma, cell body. It regulates the whole activity of this neuron. And from the soma, so many arms are emerging. That arms are called dendrites. Sorry, dendrons, and dendrons again branch to dendrites. Okay. And from the soma emerge a long axis. Its name is axon. What is its name? Axon. And one more term, the point where axon join with the soma or cell body, that part has name, that is axon hillock. What is? Axon hillock. The point where axon meets with the soma. Then as the axon terminates the end, that tip is called axon terminal. Axon terminal. And each axon terminal again ends up in terminal buttons. What is? Terminal buttons. And these buttons are actually synapsing with the other neurons through dendrites, or sometimes it communicates or meet with the other nerve endings. In that way, one nerve is connected to another nerve in a continuous manner, and so it's very easy for the system to coordinate the action that initiate anywhere away from some spot. It can easily convey that response to all over the nervous system, as it is a continuous system. So that's about the structure of neuron. Then we are coming to next slide. Myelinated and unmyelinated nerves. And I'm asking you, the transmission of impulse through which nerve is more fast? Myelinated or unmyelinated? Which one? Yes, myelinated. Then what is myelinated means? Myelinated nerves. Myelinated nerves are those nerves in its axon, some additional sheaths called myelin sheaths are present. These myelin sheaths are actually a type of glial cell called Schwann cells. Schwann cells. These cells are called Schwann cells. These Schwann cells are actually a type of glial cell that wrap around the axon. And it is that wrapping is not continuous. There is regions without that myelin sheath along the axons. That region without myelin sheath are called nodes of Ranvier. Nodes of Ranvier. Ranvier spelling R-A-N-V-I-E-R. That is gaps in the sheath. The regions of the axons without myelin sheath are called nodes of Ranvier. And how the nerves or axons having myelin sheath transmit impulse very fast when compared with unmyelinated nerve axon or nerve. How the transmission occurs this much fast? Because here the impulse signal can actually jump from one node to another node. From here to here, here to here. It can jump from one node to another. Not need to pass continuously. That's why similar to how it's similar to the speed difference. If we walk or run continuously, or if we pass the same distance by jumping, that much difference. So that is the importance of myelin sheath. Then I told you that myelin sheath are actually glial cell is actually, this is a cross section of myelinated neuron, and central position we can see the axon, and around this the glial cell is wrapping and form the Schwann cell. Next point, function of myelin sheath I already told you. So increase the velocity of action potential. This is the function of myelin sheath. Then what is the direction of impulse transmission? Is normally all the impulse transmissions direction is happens from cell body to axon. Direction in which direction? From cell body to axon. That is the normal direction of impulse transmission. Then we are coming to different types of neurons, that is unipolar, bipolar and multipolar neurons. Come to unipolar neurons. Unipolar neurons means the neurons have only one extension. Unipolar neurons are neurons having only one extension. Here we can see only one extension from the cell body or soma. From the soma only one extension. Such type of neurons are called unipolar neurons. And these unipolar neurons are mainly confined to the dorsal root ganglia of spinal nerves. Dorsal root ganglia I will tell you later in the today's section itself. So where it's found this unipolar neurons, it is mainly seen in the dorsal root ganglia of spinal nerves. Spinal cord we know, and the spinal through the spinal cord, the dorsal root and ventral root is present through the spinal cord. That dorsal root ganglia is unipolar type. So next is bipolar. As the name implies here, from the cell body, two branches are emanating. That type of neurons are called bipolar neurons. One more thing I forgot to point regarding unipolar. Unipolar neurons are all sensory neurons. Sensory neurons means neurons that receive impulses from the external environment. Neurons that receiving impulses from the external environment. So that's about unipolar. Then bipolar I told you, two extensions from the cell body. Then what about multipolar? Multipolar have so many extensions from the cell body. That's called a multipolar. This question asked for several times for the examination. So that's important. You have to understand. It's very easy. So next slide. Sensory and motor neurons. That I told you, already told you that I will explain to you what is the dorsal root ganglia and sensory neuron. That point comes in this slide. Here, sensory and motor. Its difference we need to understand. Sensory neurons means actually the neurons that is receiving information from the external environment. And motor neurons are those neurons that is giving information to the effector organs to make an appropriate action. There's a difference. So, sensory neurons. First I am talking about motor neurons. From the central nervous system means brain and spinal cord comes under that. From the central nervous system, impulses are transmitting to the effector organ. Effector organ means the organ that need to take an action in response to a information collected from the environment. Right? Okay, from the central nervous system, impulse is transmitting to the effector organ. That may be a muscle, maybe a gland or anything like that. So that's happening through motor neurons. Here we can see the motor neuron. This red color. This is the spinal cord and passing. These nerves arrangement is like this one. This is the sensory neuron. Sensory neurons are the neurons responsible to receive information from the environment, and it is carrying that information to the central nervous system. Central nervous system. After getting that information from the sensory nervous system, central nervous system control, coordinate, process that information and give appropriate stimulus or message to the effector glands or effectors through which nerve? Motor neuron. That is the difference between sensory neuron and motor neuron. And the entire arrangement looks like an arc. So this arc is also called a reflex arc. It function in this way, in the form of an arc. So it's called a reflex arc. So next is about how the nerve impulse is generate and propagate. That we can take in the next class. Okay, with this we can finish today's class. Thank you.